Good afternoon. I hope that you're doing well. Hope that you're having a lovely day. Today I'm going to be going through all of the kind of updates from May from all of my journals, doing kind of the monthly wrap up. I feel like May was a very intense month. It was a very busy month for sure, but I feel like it was a very good month journaling wise. So you might have seen some bits throughout the weekly videos, but I don't think I filmed too much journaling content this month, so some of these pages might kind of be new. I think we're going to start from the smallest books. I forget how I normally do this. I don't know why. I've had a very stressful couple of weeks with exams and my brain just feels a little bit fried at the moment. But I wanted to sit down and have a chat today and update you on how things have been going. Update you on a couple of stationery bits as well. I bought my fountain pen at the beginning of the month. I bought some Traveler's Notebook archive folders that I thought I would show you as well. So we'll get through everything. I've made myself a tea. It's the Muji Rose Hip Lemon Balm and Hibiscus. It's been a favorite lately, and we're just gonna have a quiet time and catch up. As always, if you have any fun updates from your own journaling systems, feel free to leave them in the comments. I really love hearing about them. So starting off with my pocket moleskine notebook, I finished my first one very excitingly. I actually haven't marked when I finished it, but I'll go back and find the day. But I started it on the 29th of November, so basically late November, kind of started it from the beginning of December, and it lasted me basically a good six months. I think I finished it on the last few days of May, if not the first few days of June, so a solid 6 months. I don't really know kind of when May starts in here. I know this was April, but it's always just, this was April because that's an exam that I took in April, but it's just very random, like plans and lists, and it's always very random bits, but it's a very helpful book. That's a recipe there. I don't know what a friend came over for dinner. I was making some cool recipes that I hadn't tried before, and then like here calculating shipping prices for the originals that I put on the shop, and then this was last week, and some notes for the exam that I took last week. I was kind of, as I was revising, there's always like those few things that you're like, these are some details that I do not remember, so I was writing them down so I could kind of have a look at them on the bus on the way to the exam, just to feel a bit more calm about them. But that's the first one completed, and then I set up the next one. I've only used the first page, I think, but I've set it up with one of my Van Gogh stickers from Pepin. I never know how to say it. I'll leave the website link below. I don't know if it's meant to be pronounced like the French way, because that's kind of how I would think about it, but then every time I try to say it as I'm speaking in English, it turns out very weird, so I don't know what's going on there. But I've started a new one. It's always cool to see when you finish a notebook and you start one that's the same, kind of like how much it's fluffed up. I really like seeing that, and I like the fact that this is a bit more neutral. Also, this is just a big sticker, so hopefully it's gonna hold up a bit better than the photo that I printed out, because that did get torn up a little bit, and it the colours got a bit lifted as well from just kind of being in my bag at all times. So that's a new like completed book from this month. And then what else do I do next? Why am I so lost? We're gonna go through the weeks, I guess. I was kind of updating the calendar this morning. I don't use this too much, but I've been using it to figure out when I'm meant to be studying for what exams during my exam session. So I was kind of marking up my exam days, and okay, yeah, I had a bit of a confusion because for some reason my brain can't compute that we're actually in June, and I took this exam yesterday and I was like, did I actually write it in the right month? But yes, I did. I just wrote down some events that are happening this month. I've got some concerts, I've got some exams, and some exams next month as well. And then we get to go through the weeks. I finally have a week's pencil board. I ended up going for the navy and pink one. It's not my favorite thing in the world because I don't like navy, but I thought, for some reason, I thought the back of the navy and pink pencil board was going to be entirely pink, and so I was like, I'm definitely not getting it if it's like that. But I feel like the navy is like, I don't like it, but it's dark enough that it's fine, and it's been very helpful. It's been very helpful to use it as ruler, but also because the Weeks still has the old Tomoe River paper, and I find that with the Muji gel pens, it smudges a lot more on this paper than it does on the new one that I've got in the Hon. So I've just been using it a lot, and it's also been a very good way to kind of like use it as a bookmark. I know the Weeks has the strings, and I do use it, but I don't know, this has been really nice to have as well. So this was probably my favorite spread from the month. I think this was the week across from April to the start of May. I'll leave, as always, all of the sticker links, like all of the shop links below from which I get my stickers. And then another one that I really like, I also really like this color scheme. Some from my friend Ness, a little bit more colorful. Very busy week over here, that was fun. This was 2 weeks ago. We kind of went a little bit pink, a little bit picnic themed. And then this was last week. I also had a very busy week, but I kind of kept track of a lot of that in here because I had like, where is it? A stupidly long to-do list on top of this, so I was kind of using both at the same time. I really like the weeks for planning, but I feel like sometimes, especially when I'm stressed, I really like having very like broken down lists of smaller tasks. Like if I have a big task that I need to get done that's composed of a series of smaller tasks, I like to kind of write all of those out, but sometimes you don't have that kind of space in the weeks. So I did that in here. I could use the back pages, of course, but I kind of keep more like nice seasonal sections in them. And so I don't really, and the pages are kind of counted for that. I don't have too many like to spare, but those are kind of like reference lists that I think is very important to keep in here. And if I just have a couple of things to write on the odd day, I can do it in here and it's not a big deal. And then this is this week's first week of June. I went blue again. I've really been enjoying that. And then I don't think there's too much. Yeah, I don't really think I used these much this month, so there's nothing particularly interesting in there. I'm also, for June, I think I meant to set up the new ones. Because I've been doing 3 months at a time. Yeah, this was going across March, April, May. I meant to set up a new one and I have yet to do that. So hopefully you'll see that in the June update, I guess. I will just put the pencil board back in there. And then we can move on to my traveler's notebook. I have been having such a good time this month in this notebook. I have 2 books again in my cover. I finally, when I placed my stationery order to get my fountain pen, I finally got around to buying one of the Travelers Company sticker release books. I have been wanting one for so long, but I didn't feel like ordering just to get one of these because it felt silly. And it's been very helpful. It really helped tidying up my sticker pouch. It's still not as neat as I would like it, just because I have a lot of cut up printable sticker sheets, including my own, and I don't really want to sit down and cut out all of those to then be able to stick them in here. I kind of preferred cutting them as I am about to use them. But I could at least get rid of all of the half-used sticker sheets by just kind of putting all of the stickers in here. So I've divided them by shop, basically, and kind of tried to divide them by colour a little bit as well. And it's just been very helpful. It's been very useful and very satisfying to flip through as well. So most of it is empty. I was thinking maybe I could kind of clip the sticker sheets to the top with maybe like paper clips, but I haven't gotten around to doing yet because May was just a very busy month. So I did this at the beginning of the month, and then I've not really been thinking about journals too much. Even though I have been using them, I haven't been very actively thinking about them, if that makes sense. And then I'm still using this book. I, for some reason, never set up the first page with my sticker dots, but I haven't been using the sticker dots. I don't know why, but I feel like just because I moved the commonplace out of here, that kind of meant that I didn't have as much of a need to tag things. The main journal entries in here are either artwork related or personal, or sometimes like filming related, and I could still tag those, but I just haven't been recently. And I'm also still using my date stamp to kind of date all of my entries. I feel like because I do that, it's kind of taken away the need for the sticker dot. I don't know, like the date doesn't tell me anything about the topic, but it's just made it feel like I don't need it. So this was the first entry that I did in May. I was talking about a painting that I did of these flowers that I bought, and then you'll see this is kind of, I guess I can show you kind of together. On the 1st of May, so the 1st of May is a national holiday, my parents came over to Turin to visit a photography exhibition, and I had the ticket, I had a flyer that I wanted to keep, I had a bunch of things that I wanted to write about it, but I also had a whole load more pictures that I wanted to put somewhere that couldn't fit in here, because obviously there's only so much space that you have in an A6 book to write about a very full day. So I kind of ended up putting everything else in here. I had a very large photo that I liked. This was a quote that I also really liked that you can't read on here, but you know, I have it on my phone, I know kind of that it was there. And then this is a photo that I really liked. And then we also went out and got like a mid-afternoon snack. Me and my mum got crepes, and then my dad got a tea, and it came in this really, like, the tea bag was inside this really fancy like container, and so I kept it because I thought it was funny, and so I just put it in here with a paper clip. It barely fits, but it does, so I'm keeping it there. And then this was a few days later. Here I was thinking about filming. I kind of mentioned it in one of my latest weekly videos that I posted, but I was kind of rewatching some of my older videos, and I've been wanting to kind of change up the way that I film a little bit again, and start trying out some different angles. I feel like because I have this overhead camera set up a lot of the time, I've been getting very lazy with things, and I've just been using that. Well, there's so many more things that I could do, and I just kind of started thinking about it because the editing was getting a bit boring, because I kind of always just had the same kind of clips, but I really enjoyed the process of editing if I have some fun clips to work with. And so I kind of tried to, as I was watching videos, I tried to save some screenshots. This is from Lee Ellickson, I think this one is as well, and then these are from Jasmine Chan. I tried to save a couple that I liked to maybe take inspiration from. And then this is when my fountain pen arrived. I tried using it in both books. I also tried it in the weeks. It bleeds like crazy on the old Tomo River paper, so I will not be using it in the weeks. And I did try it in here. I found that out of all of the papers that I tried it on, this book was the hardest to write in. It felt like the paper is a bit more gritty, and it felt like the pen was kind of skipping a lot more, and it wasn't, the writing experience wasn't as smooth. So I haven't used it in here since, and I also haven't used it much in here. What I've been using it the most for is drawing, actually. I've done a bunch of floral drawings. These were so fun, and I've done a whole bunch of like other types of drawings with it as well. And just for drawing, it's been so cool, and I think I might want to get some different colored inks to try doing some different things. And for writing, like the writing in here especially is very smooth and very... it's a very pleasant writing experience, but as you can see, it's a lot chunkier than my normal pen, and I thought I didn't mind it, but then I was kind of looking at it, and I feel like it's not as legible, and I do kind of want these books to be a little bit more legible in the long term. So maybe I should have gone for a finer nib. I went for the medium nib. This is the TWSBI Eco in the coffee and bronze color, I think, and I went for the medium nib. Maybe I should have gone for a fine, but you know, you live and you learn. I never I didn't know anything about fountain pen nib size before, so then I kind of went back to using the my normal Muji 0.5 pen, and here is Mallory kind of testing out the fountain pen, and then this was from the Traveler's Notebook binder. which I'll show you in a second, and I kind of printed out a picture of the pen as well, and kind of a picture of my order, just to kind of remember that. And then I don't know what I was, oh, here I was talking about how I really enjoyed drawing with the fountain pen, so that's cool. And then this is a picture from my birthday dinner. I sat here, my mum, my grandma and my dad, and we had a really lovely evening. And then this is from my other grandma's birthday like greetings card. And then this here I was talking about a really fancy dinner that we went on throughout the month, me and Mallory, for our birthday. You'll see some pictures about it in here in a second. And then this was my revision tracker. The notebook has been open on this page on my desk for like 2 weeks straight, and it's all I've been looking at. I set up my revision tracker for both exams together, because I took 2 exams in the past, literally in the last 7 days. I had one last Thursday and one yesterday, which was Wednesday, and I kind of separated them with a line, and then here underneath here I kind of had extra material. But I had all of my topics for both exams, and then I had basically, instead of just checking things off like I normally do, I marked down when I had highlighted things, when I had repeated things kind of out loud, and when I was doing the thing where I blurt out everything I know about the topic. And normally I do that on my iPad or my laptop, just because doing it by hand takes too long. And then I go back with my notes and I correct everything, and that really helps me identify what I don't know and what I do know, and kind of what I need to revise better. So I kind of kept track of all of that, and I think that gave me a bit of a better idea of what works. 3 years into uni and just now starting to learn how to study. We won't talk about that. And then a little to-do list. These were some flowers from the bouquet that I gifted my grandma for her birthday. I came home for her birthday and brought her flowers, and I picked up one of each to put in here. The paper is destroyed here because I'd had to close the notebook, and I'd put a piece of paper in between, but it got stuck. So, you know, it is what it is. And then this was an entry from the day before my exam last week. I was just pre-exam, there's always a lot of thoughts and a lot of feelings, and so I put them all down. And then same thing a couple of pages later. This one was from the morning of the exam that I took yesterday, so that's yesterday morning. Again, a lot of feelings, a lot of thoughts to just get out, and these always make me feel a lot better. And then I had some extra pictures that again didn't fit in here, so I put them in here and I just wrote about what they were. This was from a Sunday out with Mallory. We just went out in town and got ice cream, and had a really lovely time kind of browsing bookshops. And then this was, I don't know why, but the exam that we took last week, we took it in one of the hospital's lecture halls, and there was this gigantic, like, what is it, like a dinosaur egg type thing, and we were laughing about it, so I took a picture of it and I printed it out. And then I don't know what this was about, just, I don't know, a bit of a daily entry. And then I got to work on a really lovely commission this month. I just shipped it off yesterday, so I'm very excited for it to get to its new home, but I wanted to kind of commemorate that and put a picture of it in here. So that's kind of where we're at. This is from a burger that we had, or like a sandwich that we had on the day of the exam that I took last week. We had lunch at the park and it was very lovely, and I liked the wrapping, so I kept it. And there we are. I'm halfway through the book. Yeah, just a little over halfway, literally on the next page. So it's been like, I think a month and a half or 2 months since I've started it, and I'm only halfway through, so it's still like not going through it at the rate that I was last year, but I still think it doesn't feel the same as the last book did, where I've said it multiple times, it didn't feel comfortable, it didn't feel like home. This one really does. I'm really attached to this book, and so it's been very pleasant working in it. And then, while we are on the topic of the Traveler's Notebook, I thought I would show you just very briefly the archive folders. They're very plain, I haven't decorated them, and I haven't actually gone back and properly like numbered all of the books and stuff, but I've basically just kind of continued in the order that I filled them up, I think. And so I have both of my weekly Traveler's Notebook inserts from last year. These are so nostalgic. This is the first book where I got back into journaling. That is insane. It doesn't feel like it's only been like a year and a half. It was a very intense year and a half. And then this is the second half of it, which I used more as a memory keeping book. I didn't fill the entirety of it, but there's some very good memories and some very nice spreads. Some of them I really, really enjoy. These first ones especially. This is a very cute one. And then this one, which was printed from Megan Rhiannon's template. And I used it for a while to keep track of an art project that I worked on last autumn. And then this was my one of my journals. I was still doing my commonplacing in here as well, and this went from September to November of last year. So kind of lots happening in here. And then I've started the next one with another 2 books. This one went from November to the end of December, and so this kind of had some more like festive vibes, I feel. Yeah, my mom's birthday, and probably my time, yeah, Christmas and like my time at home as well. And then this one, the one that didn't feel like home. The first pages I really love. Like I really love these first spreads, but it just, I don't know, you know when a notebook just never feels right? That's kind of what I had with that one. I maybe will go back and decorate them a little bit, but I haven't for now, just because, again, May has been a stupidly insane month. And then I might zoom you in a little bit. There you go, that's a bit better. I have had a very good time working in the hon this month, but I haven't been writing in it every day. I feel like, I think I've mentioned this before, but like sometimes it's more about the habit of doing it every day, but other times it's more about the having this book to look back through. I flip back through it a lot, and it's just, it makes me feel very good and very much like my memories are safe and protected somewhere. I was thinking yesterday I would really like to scan this book at the end of the year, just so I know that it's, if anything happens, I know that like these pages are saved somewhere. I might do it maybe like once I'm halfway through at the end of the month and then finish it at the end of the year. But very plain start to the month. With my art tracker, only made art 11 days out of 31 this month. I think that's the lowest so far this year, but again, it was a very busy month, so I'll take that. This was from the day that I was saying about before, where my parents came over and we went to visit the photography exhibition, so I've got the ticket for that. And then I took one of the flyers and I kind of cut it up. I stuck a piece of it on the back of another piece of it. And then this was the day after. I went out for dinner with a friend, couple of pictures from there. I had a really good time. It's a vegan place that I hadn't been to before, and we had a really lovely dinner. And then I was in the lab here apparently. This was, oh, so this was at Mallory's house, celebrating his sister's birthday. We had pizza with like the entire family. I hadn't seen all of them in quite a while, and it was really nice. It was a very nice evening, and I wanted to put a picture of that there. Then this was the Sunday. I went on the first little motorbike trip with my dad of the season, and the only one that I've been on so far, so that's wonderful. It's just the weather's not been good, and we've both had a very intense month, just very busy. So I haven't, motorbikes being parked in the garage, but we went on a 2-hour trip, and then we got tea and snacks on the way back, so that was really nice. And then this is when I got on the Monday, the fountain pen was delivered, and so I was just very excited to try it out. The writing experience, as I said, is very smooth in here. It's very comfortable to write with. The only thing is, it took a little bit of getting used to, because I don't really like writing in cursive. My cursive handwriting has always been very messy. I used to be, my Italian teacher used to sit me next to this girl in my class that had the most beautiful and neat handwriting, to like try and influence me to write a little bit better. It didn't quite work. I feel like if I try, my like my print handwriting is okay, but I can't write in cursive, and so I feel like fountain pens kind of work better if you write in cursive, and it's a bit more I don't know, like I don't feel like they're not meant for you to write in print. They're just smoother if you're writing cursive. Does that make any sense? Because like cursive is a very smooth handwriting overall, but I got the hang of it quite quickly, and it was very nice. I do really enjoy it. It's just yeah, it's just not very legible. I feel like if I'd gotten a finer nib, it would have been better. But maybe I will at some point, and then I'll start writing with fountain pens in this book again. So that was kind of a bit about that. But I don't know what was going on here. Oh, this was the day where I had my last lecture for my bachelor's degree. It was a very bittersweet day. And then the day after, I went to the International Book Salon, or like book fair here in Turin. They do that every year. I used to ask to be able to go there for my birthday as a kid, and I went there and I picked up a few books. I have read 3 of them so far, so doing pretty good actually. I have since bought 2 more books, but you know, at least I've read some of them. And I still definitely plan on reading the other 2 very soon, so that's that. Hero's out for a friend's birthday in the evening, and he's a singer. So he gave us all at uni the stickers from his new album a while back, and I'd had it sitting around for a while because I didn't know where to put it, because it's really cute, but I didn't know where to put it. And I felt like the colours kind of matched with this photo, and it was fitting because it was his birthday, so put that there. And then the 11th of May was my birthday. I turned 22, and it was a Saturday, so I was home and we went out for dinner with my parents and my grandma. You will have seen the picture from earlier. I also printed out some really cute photos with my grandma and my mum, but I know that my grandma isn't very much of a fan of photos, so if I remember, like when I remember, I try to not show them. It's not the end of the world, but you know, just when I remember, it's a nice thing to do. Just a day that got left behind, and I didn't really know what to write about. Probably didn't really have any pictures about it either, so I just put down a picture of the drawings that I showed you earlier, because that's kind of what I'd been working on throughout that week, and I really enjoyed them, and I felt like it was a nice spot to kind of keep a memory of them. And then on the 14th, we went out with our uni friends, me and Francesca, which is my other best friend. Basically, me and my 2 best friends are the same age, and our birthdays are 8 days, like within 8 days of each other. And so it was a month of celebrating birthdays, a month of eating, and a month of prepping for exams and ending uni, and like, I don't know, it was a lot. So we went out with our uni friends to celebrate. So that's a picture of that. And then on the 15th, me and Mallory went out to celebrate our birthday at this really fancy vegan restaurant that we go to every year. And it was such an experience. We did the tasting instead of like picking from the menu as we'd done before, and it was just so good. It got 2 pages to like commemorate it, plus a little bit of writing in the traveler's note because I showed you before. I also apparently didn't really have anything to write about on the 16th, so I just kind of dedicated that entirely to the dinner, which definitely deserved it. And then on the 17th, it was his birthday, so I made him crepes in the morning, and I got a picture of that. I've not been using a lot of stickers in here. I've been putting a lot of pictures, but I've also been quite conscious of the fact that the book is bulking up. Like, she's thick, and she's not, like, she's okay to write in so far, but I do need to use a pencil board, and it's still a lot thicker on the inside than it is on the outside. Like, I can feel it kind of dipping, and I feel like it's not going to be a very nice experience towards the end of the year. I say it every month, and every month I'm a little bit more afraid of it happening. I don't know, like, if everything really just does end up getting very uncomfortable, I will get the second half of the Avec book and just finish off the year in there, but I don't want to do that because I'm very attached to this particular book at the moment. It's just a beautiful book and it's got so many memories in it already, and I just really want to finish the year in here. So I'm kind of determined to do that, but also with each month passing, I see it fluffing up more and more, and I'm like, eek, that's not gonna be great. So I'm still putting photos in because I don't want to restrict the way that I journal, and I don't want to restrict the way that I collect these memories, but I've kind of been a bit more conscious about not using too many other things, not sticking in too much. Like sometimes I'll do it, but there's been a lot of plain pages as well. This was my grandma's birthday. I came home and I brought her flowers, and I went for a very like themed page, kind of based off of the color of the flowers. These were some drawing ideas that I had, and another picture with my grandma that I covered up. And then I had a very quiet Saturday at home, and then I came back here on the Saturday instead of Sunday because I wanted to have the Sunday as well to revise for the exam that I then had on the Thursday. But we went out on Sunday to get ice cream, and I put in the receipt from that. And then a lot of revision. I bought a dress from a small business towards the end of last month, and so it came with like a little thank you card that I wanted to keep in here, and then I think, yeah, you can see the dress in here. I printed out a few pictures from this day, which was the day that I took the exam, and then we went to the park and had lunch, and also some cute flowers. These are some of my grandma's favorite flowers, so I took the picture for her, but then I liked it and I printed it out too. But I didn't want to print it out tiny and put it like in here like I normally do, and so I thought I'd just print it out bigger, and worst case scenario I put it in the traveler's notebook. But then I thought it would be a cute intro photo for June, and I really like it. But yeah, Francesca took this picture of me and I was wearing the dress. It's very, very comfortable, lovely colors. It's like a light purple and black, and it's really cool. And then this was just more freaking out about revision and exam, and then I kind of talked a bit about what the exam was like. And then we start with June. Give you a very quick flip through of that. But yeah, I don't know, I'm still having a very good time in this book, but as I said, it is fluffing up for sure. As I said, I'm still having a very, very good time in this book, but it's definitely getting a lot chunkier. Like, this is 5 months out of 12. So, I don't know, it's a lot. And you can see that if I squish it, you can really tell that most of the chunk is at the bottom, because if I squish it at the top, it's a lot flatter. Most of the chunk is like in this region, kind of here in the bottom. And also the cover is definitely getting a bit bent, but I don't mind it. It's just, I really love seeing kind of lived in notebooks. This is completely off topic, but I was thinking about it earlier this morning as well. I was sorting out some of my notes. I was kind of putting them away and archiving them. I have 2 big archive folders from Muji. I'll need to get another one because they're full, but I was flipping through them and I was kind of putting, what do you call them? Like labels. I was labeling all of them because sometimes I kind of mess up and I don't write like the course name with the professor's name at the start, and I kind of like having that. But I was going through all of them to do that, and I was like, I know that I also have a digital archive of this, but these like printed out and highlighted and written in notes, and a lot of them are kind of like a bit scuffed up at the edges because I brought them with me to the exam. They just feel very lived in, and I feel like they tell a lot more of a story, and I'm very nostalgic about that kind of thing, and I'm very attached to that kind of thing, and I get the same feeling about this notebook. And so it's just, I don't know, it's a weird thing, but it's a cool thing. May might be the fluffiest month in here so far from what I can tell. Yeah, I think it's the thickest one. I need to slow down with the pictures or she will fall apart before the end of the year. I've actually seen very fluffy books with the spine still very intact, so I am hopeful, but yeah, it's been a lot. And then last but not least, we can go through the commonplace. There's not too much new entries in here. I've not really had a lot of time to add much to this month. It's just not really been a priority. There's a couple of things. I've put in an article that I printed out. I've got a couple more that I formatted this way that I'll be printing out tomorrow, I think, just because there's a print shop very close to where I get my nails done, so I think I can kind of get them printed there. The paper's a different color. Honestly, I've decided I don't care, but I've kind of formatted them the same way that I've got these pages with the margin on the side. I don't actually use the margin that much, but I like it being there. Is that a waste of paper? I don't know, but I like it being there. And then there's nothing in the nostalgia section. There's just some new book reviews towards the end. So I read towards the beginning of the month, I read If Cats Disappeared from the World. Funnily enough, Mallory is also reading that. He picked it up like the week after I'd read it, and he was like, I'm reading this really cool new book, and I was like, I've literally just finished reading that. But that was a 2.5 stars for me. I really liked the concept, I just didn't like the writing, which is the case in a lot of times for me, so that's a bit unfortunate, but glad that I read it because it kind of been on my radar for a long time. And then I read, I cannot remember the English translation of the title at the moment. I'll put it on the screen. Vocation of being a novelist or something like that. Have I written? I don't know. Anyways, it's by Murakami, which is one of my favorite writers. It's definitely the writer that I've read from the most. This was a solid 4-star. It wasn't like revolutionary, but it was very interesting to read about. I really like his writing style, and this went in a little bit more about his writing process and kind of what inspires him, and then a lot of like different topics related to writing. And I find I found myself in a lot of occasions kind of thinking, yeah, that really makes sense with the way that he writes, and the way that he creates his characters. And so I thought that was very interesting, and I put a few quotes from it right after it as well. And then from Murakami as well, I read another book that, again, I don't know the English translation of the title of, which was another 4-star. Another very lovely one. This took a little bit longer to read, but not because the book was long, just because I got distracted halfway through and I was reading something else. But again, put down a quote from it that I really liked. And then I read Il profilo dell'altra by Irene Graziosi, which is an Italian author. I've been wanting to read this for a while, and I picked it up at the book salon or the book fair. I really love the writing. The writing style was exactly what I was hoping for, and like it did not disappoint. The story and the characters were a bit, I don't know, I didn't love it. Like it was okay, but it wasn't like, again, it wasn't revolutionary. It did talk about social media, and I was interested to see how it was going to do that. And I definitely kind of brings up some important points, but I don't think it was anything that I hadn't seen before, and I think it could maybe have gone a little bit further with certain things and kind of explored certain aspects a bit more. So I gave it a 3 stars. And then I have yet to write my review about Niente di Vero, because I finished that 2 days ago and I was kind of busy revising, but this is a solid 5-star, no doubt about that. I read that in 2 days, less than 48 hours. I read the first half of it on the train, and then I read like 40 or so pages on my lunch break the next day, and then I finished it that night. It was so good. So that's kind of everything there is to the commonplace. There's nothing else new in here. It's just I don't know, it's not really been a priority, but I like the fact that it's one of those things that I don't have to keep up with. It's just I can add to it when and why I feel like it. That probably didn't make sense. You get what I mean. It's an ever-growing archive, but there's no standard to upkeep, if that makes sense. So that was kind of a little bit of an update about what May has been about. It's been a lot. It's been an intense month, but I've had a good time with my journals. I finished a journal, which I was hoping I would finish this on the 6-month mark, just because I thought that would be very neat, and it was. I'm still kind of carrying this around because there's a couple of tasks that I have yet to cross off. I could just move them over, but I haven't yet, and I've just kind of been carrying it around like this. And then, yeah, just the weeks for planning as usual. I don't think I really explained at the beginning of the video what I use each notebook for either, so if you were like a new viewer, I'm sorry about that. Brain has been feeling a bit fuzzy, but I feel like I really needed to have this catch up and kind of talk about all of the journaling bits because I hadn't looked at it all together yet. I feel like I've been very scattered brained this month, and so this was really nice. It really validated the idea in my head that May has been a lot because it definitely was. So that's kind of the update. I hope that you're having a good time with your own journaling practice. Again, if there's anything that you've tried out this month, any like stationery new, maybe any new stationery as well, or if you've changed anything within the way that you use your books, I would love to hear about it. And otherwise, I will catch up with you next month with another episode in this like mini series that I've accidentally started. I don't know if I'll continue this throughout next year as well, or if I just want to do a full year of it, but it's been, I don't know, it's been fun filming these each month, and I think it's something that I really enjoy watching from other people as well, kind of getting regular updates. It feels like at the end of the month, or like at the beginning of the month, these videos start coming up, and it's like we're all having a catch-up. We're all sitting down in a cafe having a catch-up with each other about how our notebooks are going, and it's really exciting. So hope you enjoyed it. I hope you're having a nice day, and I'll see you soon. Bye!